Hello, hello, and welcome to this week's Wealth Wisdom. I'm Alara Sage, and I help leaders and change makers to embody their wealth consciousness, which is also their creative genius and their visionary impact. So today, I did actually pull a card, and this time I'm going to show it to you. And it says, the physical me is materialized spirit. And I think this is a really powerful card, because we tend to, as humans, focus on only what we can see, right? And what we can see is the physical. And oftentimes we forget. We forget that we are honestly this massive, massive being of light, of consciousness. And that the physical aspect of who we are and the physical aspect of our reality is actually a very minute part of who we are. So when we're only focused on that, it's like we're focusing on just our big toe. And we're saying, I am my big toe. But there's all of this other you going on. Like, sure, your big toe is a part of you, but it's not the full you. It's not the full you. One of the most profound practices that I love to do is just simply recognize my subtle bodies, recognize the Merkaba that surround my body, recognize the part of me that goes beyond that. Just simply drawing your awareness to that which is beyond the physical. You can do this right now. Just close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath into your body. And just take your awareness to your subtle bodies that surround your physical body, realizing that your physical body is encased in those subtle bodies. They don't just simply surround your physical body, they're actually encasing your physical body. And your physical body is made up of your subtle bodies. And then go out a little bit further and feel your Merkaba. And see if you can feel subtler and subtler how vast you truly are. Simply doing this immediately expands your energetic field. And we can do the opposite. So from this state, we go into our cells. And we think about all of our cells, and then we think about all of our tiny atoms, and we think about that there are nanoparticles and microscopic, and it goes smaller and smaller and smaller, and we keep finding smaller and smaller particles. You can just keep going smaller and smaller and smaller, but you're all of these tiny particles put together. You're not just one tiny, tiny particle. You're billions and trillions and what's above trillion? Multi-trillion. I know there's another one. Loads and loads of these tiny particles. And then take another nice deep breath. You can go into your heart space and realize that your heart space is a portal to all that is, literally all that is, everything, everything that is, everything that is. Take another nice deep breath. So from both of those exercises, you're immediately taking your awareness off simply the physical, because you're not just this human, you're not just this body. Everything you see is not just what is. There is so much more. And because we see the physical, we often put all of our emphasis on that. And honestly, that will only take you so far. It will only take you so far. If you're solely focused on the physical, you will only go so far. That's just a hard truth. because you're not taking into account all that you are, and therefore you're not really honoring the fullness of your abundance, because your abundance is more than what is portrayed in the physical reality. So if you can think of the abundance being all that you are, which is everything, and it just simply having your awareness on that, reminding yourself that you are a fractal of consciousness, and in a fractal, all of consciousness exists. That's how the holographic reality works. Every single fractal contains the whole. You contain the whole, the whole. So where is the lack? Where is the scarcity? There just simply isn't any. That doesn't mean that our subconscious mind doesn't believe in scarcity, because it does, largely. Okay, unless you've done a great deal of work there. I mean, a great deal of work there. I still find it in myself. And every time you expand your wealth container, every time you up level your version of wealth, you're going to hit another little barrier, a little membrane of your own identity that will bring up subconscious beliefs of, well, I have this much wealth, but can I have that much wealth? That's a limiting belief, that limiting belief of this I can I have that much? I can't have that much. So you're going to continue to face these subconscious beliefs. It's just how the journey goes. But if all you're doing is focusing on what is happening to you day to day in life, what is happening in your physical reality, you are missing a massive part of who you truly are. And so, I mean, of course, meditation is one of the most profound ways to recognize your wholeness, because you come into the lower brain waves and you connect through that space into oneness, into coherence. And, I'm a firm believer in it. I do it every single effing day. And I've used to do it for hours. I don't have to do it that much anymore, but I used to. Do it for hours. I used to do it for hours multiple times a day. But if you don't meditate, what are you doing to remind yourself that you are more than just a human? Yes, the human experience is really, really important. And honestly, it's a shit ton of fun when you see yourself in the eye of the divinity that you are, when you recognize yourself as your higher self, right? As the greater being of your consciousness. Then the human experience becomes fun, because it's only one little, big toe of your experience. It's not the end all be all. Like, we get so flustered because we're set on this being it. Even when we know this isn't it, we're still seeing it. We're still perceiving it from, this is it. This is a big deal. This means so much, right? But what if it's just big toe? Like, you could actually lose your big toe and still survive, right? And that's you as a soul. Like, you're actually indestructible. So what is your practice to continue to bring your awareness back out? Because we have to do this. We have to do this. We can't just simply have our awareness all out all the time. We need to come in and focus on the tasks at hand. And that is a much more physical point of focus. But we need to be able to move in and out of states of awareness where we are focused in on the physical and we are expanded out into wholeness. What does that look like for you? And honestly, whatever that looks like for you, that's all that matters. If you have something that does that, that's all that matters. Your version of it. And simultaneously ensuring that you are doing that every single day. Every single day, you are doing that. Preferably first when you wake up. So you start your day in that reminder, right? And then as your day starts, you'll start to come back into focus for those day-to-day tasks. But you can keep zooming out. And when you hit a challenge, our thing is to like focus in on all of it. But it's so amazing how if we just pause, take a breath, and let our awareness move out, all of a sudden, for one, the problem doesn't seem like so much of a problem. It's like, oh, this is totally manageable. crazy enough, no matter how big the problem, when your awareness is expanded out, all of a sudden the problem seems totally manageable. It's gonna work out. It's all good, right? So right away, all of that stress level drops, right? You all of a sudden feel better. And that's really important because stress is not conducive to listening to your intuition, right? To making aligned action, to even being healthy or having good energy circulation. It's not good for any of it, right? So right away, when that stress releases, you're already in a better state. But two, you can actually hear yourself. You can hear your higher self. You can hear your intuition. You can hear the many different ways the universe is constantly communicating with you, constantly communicating with you. It's all there. And you just have to take your awareness out, breathe into your body, and be available to receive those messages. You will get the exact message of what needs to be done. Then you just simply have to have the courage to take action on it. But when we're just narrowed in here and only focused on the physical, A, we're stressed. Okay. B, the challenges seem like effing mountains that you have to climb barefooted in the freezing snow with no food or water. And there's wind gusts that'll just blow you right off the mountain. That's what it feels like, right? So if you're experiencing that, let me remind you that you are hyper focused on the physical. You are not expanded out, and you are not doing yourself any justice. You're not doing yourself any justice because you're just focused on your big toe. You're forgetting about not only the foot, the leg, the hips, the whole effing body, right? Like how much of you actually exists. And wealth is first and foremost, specifically in the new era of wealth that I believe we are already in vibrationally, not in humanity, but vibrationally. It is all about being in your personal power. Okay. When you are hyper focused on the physical reality, you are not in your personal power. Okay. If you are stressed, you are not in your personal power. If you are, struggling for answers and feeling like you're stuck or that you don't have solutions, you're not in your personal power. Okay. If you're reaching outside of yourself for answers, you're not in your personal power. Your personal power is in the body. It is a place, comes from, first and foremost, relaxation, meaning no tension in your physical, emotional, and mental body, a lack of tension. So softened space, relaxation. And then that power, that Kundalini Shakti, the sexual power, all of the energy that we use to create our reality can actually move through your body to your actualization into your physical reality. So being in your personal power is everything to do with creating your wealth from this point forward. But if you are solely focused on the physical, you're not going to be embodied in your power. You're not going to be embodied in your power. Be focused on the physical and you're going to be up in your head. Okay. Embodiment is just as it says, body. It's in the body. And it starts in, well, I should say it at some point you have a much slower brainwave pattern. Not all the time. I mean, there are times that you'll be in deep concentration and deep thought and your brain is very active. But throughout the day, you're not in this monkey mind anymore. You are in the present moment. Now you are engaged with the energy of creation that desires to move through you. You can hear it. You can feel it, where it desires to go, how it desires to come through you. What is your genius? What does that look like right now in this moment? How is this problem, this challenge for you? How is this problem challenge for you? And therefore, how can you extract the most beautiful golden nuggets out of it? And when I say golden nuggets, I'm referring to wealth because it's all there. It's all there. So these stories that we have of things being hard and things being challenging and all of this story is because we're focused so hard on the physical. We're not in the remembrance of the wholeness of who we are. We're not embodied in our being and in our personal power. So remember, bring your awareness out. Bring your awareness out. Keep doing that. The minute you think of it, snap out, snap further out. You'll come back in. It's easy to come back in. That's the easy part. Keep bringing yourself out. It'll change how you view everything. And remember, in the law of attraction, your vibratory state of being is the first aspect to creator consciousness, to creating your reality, to the law of attraction. The second aspect is how you perceive your reality, right? So if your awareness is out in wholeness, in oneness, you are perceiving your reality from acceptance, from love, from abundance. And therefore, you are creating it in that constantly, constantly, constantly. And you really start to create this very, very powerful cycle that can't be broken. It cannot be broken. Sure, things can happen in the external. Sure, things can, change, but who you are in that embodied state of wealth will not be taken, not be broken, will not change. It'll only continue to evolve and expand. So I hope you enjoyed this. And I have some really fun things coming up. I'm going to have a 3-day workshop that I actually did last month. And unfortunately, day one was a bad recording. So I'm going to do it again. So unfortunately, maybe not. I don't even like that word. I don't even know why I said that word. I don't see anything as unfortunate. So I'm currently considering that 3-day workshop. I forgot what weekend I was going to do it. Yeah, it'd be the 27th, 28th, and the 29th of September. I'm going to be doing a 3-day workshop called Rewired for Wealth. So when I did it last month, it was super, super powerful. So it's all about rewiring, but it's so much more than that, because when I'm in those spaces, it's highly, highly activating. We set intentions, and it was a very powerful workshop. So I'll be repeating that 27th, 28th, 29th of September. I'm also hosting my first online summit in October. That'll be online October 16th, 17th, and 18th. It's called The Wisdom of Wealth. So I'm bringing a bunch of fantastic speakers, and we're all going to come together and create this online summit. So both of these wonderful things are coming. So make sure that you are on my email list. You can always go to my website, alarasage.com, and scroll down. There's some freebies there. I have a daily wealth activation. I have a Sɛxy AF Manifestation ebook. Sign up for one of those. You get the freebie, and then also you're on my mailing list, and you're all set. So I look forward to that and spending that time with you guys. Otherwise, until next week.